South Carolina women's basketball versus UConn prediction. Pick for 2025 NCAA championship. Tampa, Florida. It's a familiar matchup, but both teams are seeking different results. Number 1. South Carolina women's basketball, 35-3, faces number 2 UConn, 36-3, in the national championship on Sunday, 3 p.m., ABC, in Amalie Arena. The Gamecocks look to get revenge from a 29-point loss on February 16th, and the Huskies look to get revenge from their 2022 national title game loss to South Carolina. Coach Staley enters without a title game loss, 3-0, but meets Coach Geno Auriemma, who has 11 national titles, the most of any women's basketball coach. UConn beat UCLA in the Final Four 85-51 on Friday, the largest win margin in Final Four history. South Carolina beat number 1 Texas 74-57. Here's what to know about the rematch ahead of Sunday's national title game. South Carolina versus UConn. Series history. What went wrong in February? South Carolina is 5-10 in the all-time series, and before the loss this season, had won 4 consecutive games. On February 16th, the Huskies dismantled the Gamecocks' defense, scoring with ease. Guard Azzi Fudd had 28 points, and forward Sarah Strong had 16 points and 13 rebounds. South Carolina scored 14 or fewer points in 3 of the 4 quarters that game and went 3 of 17 from the three-point line, while UConn hit 13 three-pointers. Staley faces Paige Bueckers, Sarah Strong, and Azzi Fudd. Star veteran guard Paige Bueckers scored only 12 points against South Carolina but had 10 assists, which was just as impactful. She fed Fudd and Strong and created production in and outside the paint. Bueckers finished with 16 against UCLA, but in the 3 March Madness games before, finished with 31, 40, and 34 points. If Bueckers isn't scoring, Strong is. She is dominant in the paint and can hit three-pointers as well. The freshman has shown no sign of fear in her first NCAA tournament, finishing with 22 points in both of the past 2 games. Fudd's quick release and spot-up shooting, combined with Strong's footwork and skill inside all orchestrated by Bueckers, who can pass and score at a high clip gives Staley a 3-headed monster to scout. South Carolina's defense will have to be perfect to win 4th title. Both teams will need to be close to perfect. UConn averages 81.6 points per game, number 9 in the country, and holds teams to less than 52 points per game, which leads the country. South Carolina scores an average of 79.8 points per game, 13th, and is holding teams to 57.4, 34th. Staley's defense can change the tone of the game in an instant, but so can UConn's offense. With so many offensive weapons, the game likely will come down to the little things like rebounding, loose balls, and help defense. In addition, all 5 players on the floor for Staley must execute the defensive plan. The Gamecocks played uncharacteristically bad in February, but the Huskies also shot at a very high clip. South Carolina displayed its best defense of the tournament on Friday, and UConn destroyed the number 1 overall seed. Heart, passion, and effort will play a factor for both sides. South Carolina prediction versus UConn. March Madness national title. South Carolina 70, UConn 65. Emotions will be high as many players battle to close their college careers with a title, but Staley doesn't lose to the same team twice in one season and cuts down another net.